Hey, ¿qué pasa, Calexico? Welcome back to the podcast. Like always, before I begin, I want to thank my sponsors, my homies from Los Pichos. Thank you guys for sponsoring the podcast. I'll thank David Gastelum. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the Imperial or San Diego County, make sure you contact David, 760-235-9576. He's not only a realtor, but an investor with over 20 years of experience, so he'll help you along the way. Today's guest, I've been trying to get him on the podcast for a while. I've known my guest for a long time, and I'm really glad that he's, took a little bit of his day to chat with me today. Chalo, thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for actually, like you said, you've been after me for the longest time, and I'm glad that I was able to, let you into our house and here at the PD and talk to me, and then just might want to make sure that everybody knows what time is it? It's 6:10 p.m. So even though I paid good salary, it's I'm not charging overtime. I don't get overtime, so it's okay. It's part of my duties.
Yeah. And it's actually my first time being here, so it kind of shows that I've been staying out of trouble. So
it's the first time being in the admin part or the whole building? Okay.
Yeah, the whole building. I've never been here. Thank God.
Good for you, man. Yeah. It's good to see that.
I start with every episode with my guests telling us a little bit about themselves. So,
well, I mean, for a lot of people that know me, I was born and raised in Calexico. I grew up at 7th and Dual, right next to the projects. I went to all local schools. I graduated from Calexico High School in 1985. I went to IVC. I was an explorer at the high school. And that's one thing that I like to tell people is that I was an explorer. I was a 17-year-old kid in 1984. I just aged myself.
Yeah.
In 84, who wanted to be a police officer really bad. It's something I wanted all my life. I think you're born with it. I mean, it's not. I didn't decide from one day to another. It was just, it's a calling. It's something I want to do. So my dad, he was he was in the military, so it was very paramilitary. Growing up with him is yes sir, no sir, and he was in the U.S. Army, so in the Korean War. So he married my mom. My mom's from Mexicali, and my dad was born in Peoria, Arizona, and spent his childhood in La Paz and then Mexicali. He migrated with a grandfather. But then, like I said, I was born here and loved Calexico, man. I Calexico to me is everything. I went to after I became an explorer, I was a reserve for a while. I did the marijuana raids as a reserve up in Humboldt County, Mendocino, Trinity County, humped the hills over there. Had a blast. I was young, 21. Making good money and just, wow. I've never left Calexico. And I'm here, 14 hours away, 15 hours away in a place that is green, beautiful, but a lot of hard work. Came back and Calexico hired me. I had put applications with Highway Patrol and everything. And during the time, Governor Pete Wilson did a hiring freeze. So Calexico gave me the opportunity. And like I said, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And so I came to Calexico, did my field training here in Calexico. And after that, passed my probation and then just started ascending slowly up the chain. I went from police officer to field training officer. Did a bunch of assignments. I worked downtown liaison officer. Worked some quick stints at task forces, not too long. Work investigations. And one of the best, and I was telling you, one of my best assignments that I really like, because I'm a people person, that put me in touch with the community, was working for an assignment with the housing authority. The Calexico Housing Authority received this grant for a drug elimination program, which included, my partner was Danny Silva. A lot of people know Danny Silva. He was my partner. He's a Puerto Rican, funny guy. And I say that because people will remember him because of the way he used to talk. Remember, they don't roll the R's. It's instead of por qué, was por qué. Por el balco, So I had a lot of good times with that guy. We worked together very well. But the point I'm trying to make is that it brought me down a little bit. I knew Calexico left and right, and as a kid, we would stay away from 1840 Rockwood, Las Pistoneras. Yeah. I said, you never go in there. You didn't went to Kennedy Gardens. because everybody had that. Hey, if you're not from the barrio, they're gonna beat you up or they're gonna take your bike away or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working as a police officer. I always had a bad impression of 1840 Rockwood because we always responded to calls for service. There's always domestic violence, drug being used, people getting beat up, people being stabbed, you name it. I mean, one of my first calls there, it was a dead body that was decomposed that some person hung himself.
Oh yeah, my
and
dad found it.
they made me go in there and get it because I was a new guy, and I mean that was the first time I ever had something that you could actually taste it. I mean, that's how bad it was. So when I got assigned, I was like, okay, I'll do it. So it took me a while, about a month or two, to get to start getting the people to like me, because remember, we have that in our culture. It's always la policía, si no te portas bien te va a agarrar la policía. Y ese le va a la policía. They call us every time something happens. We're always the one that arrests dad or brother or mom out of a house. And the negative of that was not good. So my job it was going over there, reestablishing an open communication, getting people to trust the police, to give us information, to help them clean up their areas. Mm-hmm. So when we started doing that, like I was telling you earlier, one of the things that one day I was walking around, because we had to walk that beat. You had to get off.
Yeah,
and we had to do the monitor like a security guard. They used to make fun of us. Like, you guys are security guards. So we used to have to walk the projects. And one day you go out there and I said, it was real dirty. There was trash everywhere. Not like a dump, but just things that that people see papers, people see something in the middle, broken glass. Nobody's picking it up. The maintenance guys would do it, but if they're off on a weekend. So one day I went and got a plastic bag and I started picking up trash, and a little kid comes up and asks me what I'm doing. I said, I'm picking up trash. Can I help you? Yeah, sure. Before I knew it, I had most of the kids. So I had about 90% of the kids. They're always happy to see me. We would take them ice pop sometimes. We give them rides in our police car. And so we got the trust of the people. And it was great. It cleaned up. I went to the executive administrator for the housing, which was Lupita Rios at the time. She wouldn't allow the people to put flowers in front of their doors, property. I say, Lupita, let them, just tell them, look, you can't put cactuses, you can't put this, but if they want to let them, it's their living spaces,
Mm-hmm.
have them get some ownership. Yeah. So she says, you know what, I'll do it, but you gotta, make sure. Say, okay. So Danny Silva and I went and sold it to them, and some people took advantage of it. They put nice flowers and they kept the area clean. And I started seeing people coming out at night, sitting in the benches, talking, man, that was great. And then we did the same thing at the Calexico Gardens, 1620 Rockwood. So I talk about this a lot because that's what kept me grounded and actually helped me do the job that I do now. I'm a people person. So you can come to me and I'll listen to you. And most of the time, I side with a lot of people. Which sometimes my officers get a little bit upset because they say, hey, you know what? Sometimes we don't have to arrest everybody. I mean, for the minor things. Of course, if it's a felony, if it's a serious crime, even if it's a misdemeanor, they go to jail. We send the reports to the district attorney's office, and if they get a warrant or prosecution, we do it. But I am not going to go and arrest somebody for speeding or reckless driving. If they're coming home from the hospital or going to the hospital because somebody's ill. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to use common sense. Yeah. I mean, and so sometimes I tell my officer, say, hey, you know what? Don't tow the car. Why wouldn't I tow the car? I said, where were they going? Wow, they're claiming they're going to, to the hospital, and then she didn't have a driver's license and it's suspended. Okay, then can somebody pick up the car? So look, she already has, you already found out that they are going to the hospital, so they already have a burden or they already have a worry they're going to go to.
Yeah,
why are you going to tow their car now? So I said, you have the discretion to do that. Mm-hmm. Now, if the person is straight out lying to you and this, then you do your job. I mean, but you don't always have to be that way with the citizens of Calexico. But at the same time, I tell them it's your discretion. I said, but don't get upset. If I know or I hear about it and I pull you in and say, why did you do that, guys? Remember, the community that we serve is not our enemies. They're we live together here, we work together here, we serve the community. Mm-hmm. I have a really good group of people right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I want to ask you about that because I saw a group of them at the art walk. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's me that I'm getting older or they seem a little bit younger. Is it a younger group of officers that you have right now?
Yeah. So right now, we have some young people we're recruiting. I have openings for 5 people. It's just that it's a process. I mean, the process can be long because they have to do an oral interview. Most of the people that we're going after are people that put themselves through police academies or lateral officers, which is officers from other areas that want to come to Calexico. Since last year around October, after they were going to try to get the department and they were going to contract it out to the sheriff's office. Once people knew it wasn't going to happen and word got out that we were going to stay, things started getting better. We've had people come over from other departments and they're assets because some of these were Calexico people, and so they know the area, they know the town, they know how to talk to our to people. They understand the culture, the unique culture that we have because of Mexicali. And that's something that people don't understand is that fence, it only separates. It's like being neighbors. You have a fence at your house to keep your dogs from going over or your kids from throwing the ball. It's the same thing. That fence through. I mean, we breathe the same air. We have the same weather. If we get an earthquake, it's going to affect both sides, not just Calexico because it happened on the U.S. side or Mexicali. And people don't understand that. Our culture is very unique, and we should be proud of the culture because nowhere else can you go have the best food down there like Chinese food in Mexicali. You can go to doctors in Mexicali. You can get medicine better in Mexicali. And then Calexico has a lot of things to offer for the people in Mexicali. Of course, it's only Walmart and Food for Less, but as businesses start coming in and as we start doing different infrastructures, it's going to get better. Now, going back to your question of young people, yeah, they're young. And I want to hire females and I want to hire, males. And I'm 5 short. Hopefully we'll try to get these positions filled within the next 2-3 months. And it takes them 16 weeks to actually get off their field training program. I'm shorthanded in officers. I'm shorthanded in dispatchers. I'm going to get dispatchers too. We're working on promoting one, which leaves a vacancy to bring another one in. My goal is when I get ready to leave, whether it be tomorrow or 2 or 3 years from now, because I got a 3-year contract, is leave it better than the way it was.
Yeah. How many dispatchers do we have?
I have 6 dispatchers. Oh, hold on. No, I'm sorry. Seven.
Because somebody on Facebook asked me that why did we only have 1 dispatcher?
So there's times where the way that I have my dispatchers stacked up, I have them 2 in the morning ones. I have dispatchers by themselves from 11 o'clock at night to 11 o'clock in the morning. But I stagger them sometimes. So during the day, the busiest day, and at night, I have 2 on. I would like to have 2 on every shift, 24/7. And actually, if I could bring a 3rd one in during the 3 p.m. to 3 a.m., that would be my ultimate. That's my goal. By the time I leave is to have that many dispatchers, to have 12 dispatchers working. That would put 3 people on every shift. Because they work 12-hour shifts and they work 3 days out of the week or 4 days out of the week.
Okay, so just so that I think his name was Giovanni Gonzalez, just so that you answer his question, is that Yeah, there might be a time when there's one dispatcher.
There's one dispatcher.
But most of the times you try to have at least two.
Two. So if we have special details, which we do have, we get overtime money from different government agencies to work special details. I bring in extra dispatchers. For 4th of July, I had extra dispatchers. For the Mariachi Festival, I make sure that I have at least 2 up to 3, because if it's a big event, and I know like the 4th of July, I had 3 dispatchers working that day because it was closer to the weekend. We knew the Grand Plaza was having something. They had the art walk and this and that. I said, so we beefed it up that night with dispatchers. So that's my whole thing is the way our schedules are. I have the liberty, and it's been told to my sergeants that oversee dispatch and my lieutenant who knows. It's the overtime. If we have to, we have to. I know the city, is, we're not out of the hole yet, but we're a lot better than we were 2-3 years ago, and I can justify it. I can justify my overtime. I just have to be very responsible. It's like you and your household, you and your wife are very responsible for your budget. So I have to be responsible for my budget too. So if I know that I'm going to need money there, then I won't buy a police car because I'm going to need those $30,000 or whatever. It's actually more than that, but let's say for $30,000 to spend it serving the public, not buying a police car. We can wait for a police car.
So going back to earlier, you said about when the sheriff might taking over the policing and whatnot. Where are we now? Like we're as because there was a time where I guess they found out that cases weren't being investigated. They were just stuff sitting there. Is it? I'm sure that we're better, but like, how what are you doing to like kind of gain the community's trust back in that sense where like if something happens in my house there's going to be follow through
So one of the things that we've done and the officers have really stepped it up even though we've been shorthanded is I don't know if have you seen their Facebook page at the police association? That's okay. So they asked if they could do it. I said go ahead and do it. I said just there's parameters that I said I'll allow you to do it. I don't have the time to run Facebook. Because that would take a tremendous amount of time for my lieutenant, for me, for my sergeants. So these guys do it, on their own time because they do it as an association. They are very proactive. They know who their criminals are. They know their modus operandi, their MO, the way they do stuff. Our closing rate of cases that we solve is way up there in Pearl County. I think we're doing better than some other cities, and I'm not going to name them because we back each other up. But you will have better service. There's a lot of stuff that we're not doing that we used to do before too, though, and a lot of people complain. So if you have a minor traffic collision and both parties are on scene, you're just going to exchange info, and so that's something that we started a while back. But nobody really knew about it. The city of El Centro does it. City of Brawley does it. The only one that still takes reports for minor fender benders is Highway Patrol, and that's their meat and potatoes. That's what they do. That's their number one is traffic enforcement and traffic collisions and traffic awareness, trying to keep people from doing wrong. With me, if I were to have to take reports on every traffic collision we respond, I wouldn't be able to field and have officers patrolling and finding the guy with a Molotov cocktail that was going to try to burn something, having the guys going that are burning trash cans, stopping people from stealing vehicles in that night, people rolling around the neighborhood on their bikes, taking packages. It's nonstop. For me, in our police officers, sometimes we get used to it and you become a little bit numb to the fact that it happens because it's on a daily basis. But for somebody like you or a citizen that has never, had their house broken into or something stolen, the day they do it, dude, you feel violated.
Yeah.
And so I understand when people get frustrated. And I understand when people say that we don't know what we're doing, that we're a bunch of corrupt people. We did get a black guy, back in 2015, and it was something that I don't want to live through again. And it's something the police officers that are here don't want to live through again.
Yeah.
Some of them weren't here when that happened. So these older, more experienced officers tell them, hey, look, this is what happened, and you don't want to get there. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't filled those 5 positions, because as a department, not just me, the officers, my command staff, everybody, we say, look, we can toe the line for a little while longer, but we're going to get quality people, or we can just hire people that are leaving other agencies because they're getting ready to get fired. And then you're going to have people not doing their jobs.
Yeah.
Everybody that I have working right now, Jose, they love their job. They love the community. They go the extra mile. They're not just, we're not doing anything. As these guys are, I come to the briefings in the morning, 7:00 in the morning, and I talk to them, sit down and talk to them, because that's the way I am. But I like to hear what's going on.
Yeah.
I like to hear what's going on. I like to encourage them. These guys do a lot of good. Without them, we don't have a department.
When it comes to hiring, do you prefer to get local people that?
I prefer to get people that are from Pruitt County. That's my preference, because I know that they're going to give me, if not 5-6 years, they're going to give me their whole career here. I'm not going to say no to people from the outside that are good, but most of these people that come from Riverside, LA, San Bernardino, other areas, they'll give you 3 years at the most and they're gone. And people don't realize that at your 3rd, 4th, and 5th year, man, that's where you're probably the best. That's when you're learning a lot. There's so much for you more to learn. And then, the experience you have, you're kind of like, you can work without much supervision when you're in your 3rd, 4th, 5th year, because you already know their job really good and everything. And so you only go to your sergeant and your lieutenant or your chief when it's something that you've never worked or come across.
Yeah.
But here in Calexico, every person that I know that has left Calexico to another department has excelled there. I'm telling you, they left, they go. Within a year, they're working detectives at a bigger agency. Within boom, these guys are. I've had guys. There's a guy that is a lieutenant now with the Palm Springs Police Department from Calexico. A couple of guys became sergeants in Tehachapi after leaving Calexico. I mean, you have people that left the sheriff's office that are sergeants now that were from Calexico. Yeah. So they got a lot of their training and their experience here, because this is a fast-paced environment. It's very fast. It's moving, and it's really good. So in that, even our dispatchers, everybody that works for Calexico, you get exposed to so much so fast, and you learn so much real fast, that they go to other agencies and they're like, wow, it's slow.
And I feel that kind of like goes for like, even for like education, like teachers, like you said, like we're a different type of community. We're like, I know teachers that start here and then they go to El Centro or Imperial or somewhere else, and they do a great job, because I mean, it's like, it's a fast pace. It's even though we're a small town, just the sense of, you get, kids that they don't speak a lick of English, and then, you get them to like graduate and all that stuff. And then you go over there and like, you get all these kids that are, well behaved, they know English. So like, it's like heaven for a teacher so like, I imagine when it's, when you have a small town, but yet you have, all this traffic coming in from Mexico. You have, we're getting a big population of homeless people, and, the crime rate is, it goes up and down because of situations. And, you go somewhere else where it's a little bit more stable, than, you don't have the same like fluctuation of, different people coming in and out. So when you go to somewhere that's a little bit more stable, piece of cake.
And that's one of the things that people don't realize. And every time I go to a meeting with, federal agencies, every time I've spoken to congressmen, senators, assemblymen, I tell them, look, man, Calexico is not just 40,000. Calexico is 40,000 with 60 to 80,000 people that come through our city on a daily basis. And on the peak season, you're looking at 100 to 120,000 people coming to my city. Now, the citizens of Calexico, 98% of them are better behaved than I think a lot of people in the valley. I mean, other than, you got smaller towns, yeah, but our problems, knock on wood, here are nothing compared to other cities. For the fact that we have that influx of 80,000 people, 60,000 people come through Calexico, people take care of each other here. The neighborhoods take care of each other. Your neighbors look out for each other. That's something that it's very rare in big cities. I mean, here, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud to say, here in Calexico, you're not going to go into a neighborhood and rip off something. If your neighbor's outside, he's going to say something. Yeah. We've had people detaining people that are stealing something from a neighbor's house because they're not going to sit there and take it. They're not going to sit there and take it. In other places, is, you know what? I don't want to get involved. Here, it's like, oh, no, not in my neighborhood. Yeah. Calexico's good, man.
Yeah, we're really...
We have a very, very good citizen. Since I grew up here, I mean, it hasn't changed much. It's increased in population. The problems of the big cities is we're having, you just said homelessness. Homelessness is a problem that is worldwide, but actually is more, it's happening more here in the United States. And that's something that I kind of get upset because there's a lot of homeless veterans out there. There's a lot of people that are homeless that are drug addiction, and it's a disease. Alcoholism is a disease. I wish that we have a simple solution for it. Imperial County is a very poor county. We don't get the money that other counties get. If we were a county that had more money, we would have a better mental health program countywide. There's not, the mental health people here are doing what they can with what they have. They do a lot. But if we got the money that San Bernardino County gets, that LA County gets, it. Look at LA County. They don't know what to do with the homeless people. Yeah. Most of these people need help. It's just so you can't force them to get help. Homeless people have rights. We can't kick them out like we used to before. When I started here, it was, hey, no camping, get out of here. Here's a ticket, leave. Grab your stuff, leave. If I were to do that now, I get lawsuits. I would, the city would go bankrupt. Because the ACLU and everybody else, which protects people, would see that we're going after the homeless people in the wrong way. So we're trying to develop. I have Sergeant Legaspi's working with other agencies to trying to get something going here, which includes mental health, adult protective services, VA, somebody from the VA to come down, and social services to come and offer these people, hey, look, we notice you're homeless. Who are you? Are you a veteran? Do you need help? Can the Veterans Administration help you with something? If you're not a veteran, if you're something with social economics, adult protective service, can we get you the help that we need through adult protective services? Not just go over there and kick them out of the park, because you are not really looking into the problem. You're not trying to solve the problem. You're just trying to brush it off. And who are we going to brush it off to? You want them going in, and that's another people said, well, they're at the park. Yeah, because they feel safer. We asked, my officers went out there, talked to them. Half of them said they feel safer. Yeah, and you have the other half that are drug addicts. So they go out to the drug addicts, they take away their dope, they give them a ticket because now that stuff are misdemeanors. It used to be felonies. The laws changed in California. So it's not the fault of the city of Calexico. It's not the fault of the police department. It's our voters that did not read the ballot. And it's not fair because when you look at a ballot, man, it's got about 5,000, 6,000 words, and you don't understand. By the time you go to say yes or no, You're voting no for something that you need to vote yes for. And so the realignment in Proposition 47, all these things, it really affected the way we do law enforcement. I had some of my guys arrest guys for a felony burglary. We used to be automatic, you're in jail for 10 days until you went through your prelim. They'll arrest them, take them to county jail. We have to go to county jail. Then they tell us to get a medical cleared. We go to the hospital for 4 or 5 hours. We take him back to the jail. My officer comes back. The next day, first thing in the morning, he goes to gas up the car, the patrol car, get coffee. The guy's already back out. And he tells my officer, hey, you know what? They let me out at 4 o'clock in the morning because there's no room, or they let me out because, whatever reason. It's not the jail's fault.
Yeah.
It's the system that no longer looks at some of these felonies as serious felonies. Before, if you rape somebody and you drug them, it was a first degree rape regardless. Now they're looking at it's still a rape, but it's not as serious because you were unconscious and you didn't know. In other words, you won't remember what really happened to you, so it's not traumatic.
Even if the person drugged you.
Yeah, that's what some of the laws has changed, and that's as chiefs of police and sheriffs, we wrote letters to our assembly members and our senators, say, hey, this has got to stop. And so it's the people in Sacramento that are being more lenient, and like I said, jail is not. I don't think everybody should go to jail. Sometimes the people that are mental problems need to go to mental hospitals before they go to jail. But then you have your stone cold killers that they should go to jail, or you got your rapists that should do time, or you got somebody that likes to, assault people that should do jail, not just 10 days, 30 days, 1 year. And in law enforcement, that's for us. It's we get very upset. It's something you sit there and you say, man, you know what? I can't believe, I was there. I saw the victim. I spoke to the victim. I spoke to the victim's children. I spoke to the witnesses. And these people are all traumatized, mentally scarred for life. And this guy's going to walk with, free, or he's going to 30 days or nothing, and it's very upsetting for us in law enforcement. And our job is to, mitigate the situation, report it, file it to the district attorney's office, be a witness at the hearing, and it's supposed to stop there. But we're human; it affects us. We want to see that guy or that person, because women do it too. We want to see them the maximum. If it's an 8-year sentence, we want to see them go 8 years away. And when they come down and say, hey, you know what, the judge or the jury, found it second degree instead of first degree, and they're only going to get 5 years, and you're going like, but I was there. Yeah. It's the way it is, man. That's the way we roll.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Being a city that, it's in the border, and, we deal with, border stuff. Do we get any additional help because of,
Good question. And the answer is no. We've been trying for the longest time. Our city council members, our city staff, our city manager, assistant city manager, myself, prior administrations have always reached out to our congressman to get federal funding, because we respond to the port a lot. And it's not only us, it's fire department. Fire department, 50% of their calls are medical aid calls at the port of entry. And you can't deny those calls. I've put a stop to some of the calls, and I tell them, hey, you know what? Only respond to the serious calls. We're not responding to other calls. My guys have to stay on the street. And that's a risk that I have to take, because I say, I'm not responding. My guys need to patrol the streets, and we'll tell them, hey, we have an extended estimated time of arrival, and ETA is going to be 30, 40 minutes because everybody's busy. So either you hold them there, you kick them loose, or you send them back south. You can deny entry.
But what would be like one of those calls that you would, put aside? What would be like something that we...
So sometimes they get somebody with less than or a couple of grams of methamphetamine. Well, it's a crime, but it doesn't meet their threshold because it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So they try to hand it off to us, and we're like, well, we'll take it, but you're gonna have to wait. It might be a DUI, and we tell them, hey, hold them there. And luckily, we have a good working relationship with CHP. We say, hey, can you call CHP, or we'll call CHP? He goes, you know what? I have 4 guys working, and they're nonstop call to call. And by sending somebody for a DUI at the port, it might take 2-3 hours off the line, this guy, and then you only have 3 guys for the whole city. The benefit is, though, it's a force multiplier for us, is the fact that we have allied agencies to help us. Border Patrol is our biggest backup. Border Patrol, to me, it's their, our big brother. We do the job, we do everything, but when something hits the fan, they come and help us. We have a mutual agreement, understanding that they will help us, and we help them too. When they do stuff, but it's mostly they help us. You won't be surprised if you see a really bad traffic accident, and who's controlling traffic while we do the job? Border Patrol. Yeah, I've seen it. During the earthquake, we asked Border Patrol to lock down downtown for us. They locked down. So that way, we went out to the neighborhoods during the Easter quake, and they stayed downtown. And they stayed downtown for at least a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Until we knew, okay, we got everything going now. So now we started doing our operations, and the first 3 days they were like, they must have had like 15 guys assigned to us downtown. After the 3rd day, it came down to 10, then 5 for the rest of the time. They had 5 units just down there. But it's a big help because my guys can go out, take care of calls, or they can take the restroom breaks, or they can do whatever they got to do while these guys, sit there and just watch, make sure that nobody comes in and out of the stuff.
Do you know if other cities that are similar to us, like, I don't know, like San Isidro comes to mind, do they get any additional help, or is it the same?
It's the same across the border. I mean, there's no money that I know of, because we've asked. There's no money allocated just for us, and that's something that when Donald Trump came in, I kind of threw it. But I mean, he was here for a purpose, so I kind of say, hey, you know what, we need your help down at the border. He shook my hand, took a picture, and that was it. He wasn't here for that. But we've asked, and we've had people say, hey, you need to give us money to have more people down here, because we're the first responders there. I mean, we are the first line of defense, Border Patrol and ourselves. CBP has good people too. They have a riot team now, a crowd control team, they call them. And they're getting a lot of training, but still, I mean, we work hand in hand with them. I mean, that's one of the things, and it's just like being in the military, being a firefighter, being in a football team. It's all one big brotherhood, team of players that we serve the community. Yeah, we do police work. Yeah, they do the port, but when it comes down to it, if I know that if I need bodies to help me to do something, I call Border Patrol, they'll respond. If I need CBP to come out here, they'll put on their tactical gear and they'll send me 5-6 guys over here without a doubt. It's just that, it's I can't depend on them all the time, because somebody might be trying to run the port and they got their people over there, and what am I going to do to protect my city on this side?
Yeah. Exactly.
And believe me, that fence that's going to go up, I'm for it. I grew up in Calexico. I remember when we had the small chain link fence. I remember when we had the holes on the fence. I grew up on 7th Street. I had my bike stolen once. I've had, undocumented people run through my house on a daily basis. We had people going up our roofs on a daily basis. I've seen drugs been thrown across the border. So now when it went a little bit higher, it got harder for them to do it. When they put that Ballard 30-foot, my job is to protect the city of Calexico. The government's job is to protect the country.
Yeah.
I don't have the money to put a big fence. If he's going to put a fence like he's got over there by Grand Plaza, the people from Mexicali, they don't complain. I have family in Mexicali. They have Sentry. They go to and from Mexicali faster than I do. They don't care. I mean, I asked them, hey, what do you think about that? We don't care. Yeah. We're used to it. We're used to having that divider. We're used to having that divider, the egos. People are just making a big thing out of it, and it's true. We that we're here, yeah. It's security for the people.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's maybe it's the way he kind of like said it that really triggered people. The way that, oh yeah, they're gonna pay for it. Maybe that's the big thing. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like it's always been there. It might be a little bit bigger. It might be
It's more intimidating.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, it's just
okay. So this is how much of an effect that fence has with our community, with Mexico, Mexicali, and Calexico. 4th of July. Prime example. I called my cousins. I told my cousins, check this out, man. I had a video. We're celebrating 4th of July in the U.S. Yeah, okay. Guess where the fireworks are coming from? And he's like, where? Mexicali. And my cousins, they live in Anaheim. They're like, what do you mean? Yeah. They paid a company to run the fireworks out of Mexicali. Smart. You don't have to get permits in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And you pay half of what you would have paid over here.
It's cheaper.
And you don't have to worry about people being around it, something happening wrong. And it was great, dude. I said, look at the fireworks. Mm. In Mexicali celebrating the 4th of July.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was at the Grand Plaza and I was like, that's funny.
It's great.
Yeah.
I tell people it's like, yeah, at that point, I like to use the term only in Calexico. Mm-hmm. But for the other stuff, I don't. Okay, only Calexico. Yeah, you know what? We did it.
Yeah.
Grand Plaza did a nice show. A lot of people out there. Mm-hmm. My guys that worked it that night, they had fun. They said, hey, you know what? We met a lot of people, made a lot of good contacts. Mm-hmm. We talked to a lot of kids. That's my thing right now is this.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. How important is it for the officers to have that bond with the community, especially the young ones, because I feel that, like you said earlier, like we instill that thing in their minds, are like, el policía, ponte si te va a regañar o te va a llevar.
See, that's the Mexican culture. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember, my mom, hey, si no te la policía, and you're like, oh my God. So now my officers, if they hear that, they'll get off the car. They'll say, hey, you know what? No, I go to Walmart. When I'm working, I'll go to Walmart, talk to the manager, and I'll cruise around Walmart or Food for Less. And they'll say, mira, viene la policía. Te va a llevar. Mira, señora, yo ya tengo 4 hijos. I don't want no more kids. He's your responsibility. Yeah. I said, if I take him, I'm taking him with social security number. I'll do everything because I'm going to adopt them.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not taking him to oficial. I said, and I tell her, don't do that. If they ever need help, they're not going to, they see a police officer going to away from us. I said, so don't do that. It's wrong. And then they look at me like, oh, okay, es tu amigo, es tu amigo. I say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because maybe we don't do it in that sense, but we don't know what the kid's thinking, right?
Well, I mean, as a kid, it intimidates you, it scares you. I remember my mom when she do it, man. I was traumatized for the next hour, thinking, oh, is the police officer still around us? And is he still here? Is he still gonna take me to jail because my mom said so? Yeah. So this is one of the stuff we're doing. So Cordova Park was named after our fallen police officer, Adrian Cordova. Mm-hmm. And as a police officer association and the PD, we decided that we were going to adopt that park. And I just met with David Dale, our city manager, earlier this morning to say, hey, you know what? We need to put the sign up there that says, adopted by the CPOA. There's some ideas that are being thrown around for us as a department and as a POA, because when you adopt the park, you are mandated once a month or more, or at least once a month, to do a cleanup at the park. Mm-hmm. So in other words, you could walk around, pick up the trash, make it look better. But the stuff that the Police Officer Association and myself were brainstorming with my command staff was, hey, during the nice weather months, I would like to do activities for children that can, walk all the way till they're like 16, 17, where we do stuff like have flag football games, play dodgeball, softball, running, obstacle course stuff. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I said, look, we'll feed them, but it's going to be nothing but we'll go get fruit, whatever's in season, whether it be cantaloupes, watermelons, peaches, whatever, and then that's what we'll give the kids. Of course, we'll make sure the parents sign off on it.
Yeah.
We'll give them water. We're not going to give them sugary stuff. We're not going to give them, fried foods. It's already, and just to get the kids to go out there and see the police officers for the human side of us. The fact that, some of my guys, not me, you're not going to see me running around over there. Right? You'll see me out there cutting cutting their sandias and everything, going up. If there's a basketball court by then, I'll throw hoops with them. But you're going to see them playing football and stuff like that. But my young guys that love to run and work out every day, they can go out there and do all that stuff. And they're happy. They want to do it. Mm-hmm. So if we can do that in the future, that's my goal, to get these guys to go out there in the community and know that that's their park, that's Cordova's park, Adrian's park, and that his legacy will live on through us doing something for the community. Mm-hmm. And that's our goal. That's why we're pushing that park. That's why that park's being pushed a lot, because first of all, we need a park. The people are paying CFDs, but what better yet than team up with us to go out there and do that. Yeah. I'm trying to find a way to get a camera out there, because it's going to be their biggest park. So I told David, if we're going to do it right, we need to invest in having a camera system out there. And then we can start hitting up the rest of the parks, redo the rest of the parks, one at a time. I said, but you can't I said, that park's been promised for the people for the longest time. Yeah. They've paid CFDs for it. They need their park. Mm-hmm. And we'll go from there. We'll have events in every park of the city, not just, one park in particular where people say, hey, you're always having it here at this park. How come you're not having it at this park? Yeah. Yeah. And how come you only have, this on this park? I get it all the time. And it's true. We don't see it, but we need to move it around the whole city. I would like to do something in Nosotros Park. I would like to do something Espinosa Park. I would like to do something here at something small at Cortez Park or Gutierrez, or we can go to Cordova Park once Cordova Park gets built. And you move it around. Yeah. You move it around. You can't. Yeah,
and that way you get the different, areas of the town. Like people get to see, the police, the police officers, having having a relationship with, the community. It doesn't matter if you're from that area or this area. It's I guess you're here for everybody, not just.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's the thing is, one of the things that I get criticized for is the fact that I don't go to these Chamber of Commerce events. I didn't go to the Mariachi Festival. And this is my thinking is, I have the money to go buy a table, but not the whole city can go to that event. Mm-hmm. But if you have something, I went a little bit to the Grand Plaza, the Christmas parade, after the Christmas parade at the park, I'll spend time there. If there's an event where the public, like the high school graduation, I was at the high school graduation. So I'll go to events where I'm accessible to everybody, from the people that are very low income to the people that are very well off, mm-hmm. to little kids, to the senior citizens. Yeah. That's my philosophy. That's what I want to do. Say, you know what? Because the people that know me or that are pretty well connected in the city, they know how to get a hold of me. They know how to make appointments to talk to me through my administrative assistants. They know that they can call City Hall and have me meet them at City Hall with the city manager. Mm. But your mom, your dad, your cousins, they don't know how to get a hold of me. If they need to talk to me, they're like, oh, what do I do? ¿Qué hago? But if they see me out there, believe me, I take my notebook with me and I pass out cards and I say, hey, email me, because I always go through my emails. 11 o'clock at night, I'll be home. My wife goes to sleep. I open up my laptop and I'm going through my emails. I'm answering emails because I need to know from the community. Hey, you know what's going on? You have a problem? Yeah. Let me see if I can send somebody or not. I'll go. Mm-hmm. If I think it's something that needs my attention, if I could send one of my sergeants or my officers, I say, hey, you tell me one on my behalf, see if we can solve the problem. A lot of stuff is just hearing somebody and give them an idea. Say, do this, do that. Or you know what, you can go here. We can't be closed-minded. Mm-hmm. That's the dynamics that has changed. I think the officers are more accessible to. The amount of calls, it's up there. It's up there. I mean, for a city our size, we're very, very busy.
Yeah. And especially for the size of the police department.
Yeah, the department. I mean, we're small. I mean, we're probably at our lowest we've ever been in manpower. But you have quality.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key factor. I mean, I can have double, but if my quality is not there, then I'm wasting my money.
Same thing.
And it's creating more problems. One of the things that I want to make sure you guys know is that we all wear body cams, and it's one of the best tools that we have available. Our body cams. Every time somebody, for crimes, we can videotape stuff. We can submit it to evidence. When I have citizens complaints, my body cameras are. I sit down with a person if they want to and say, look, you're saying the officer told you this, and that. Well, she had the body camera on the whole time, and they never said anything. My traffic controllers wear it. My animal control guys wear it. Our code enforcement at the city, I let them borrow one. Our fire inspector, I already told the fire chief that if he wants to, he can come and borrow one. Because we pay for the same service. Well, I use 50 of them, or I use only one. So I encourage everybody to use it.
Yeah.
Another thing is the fire department. One of the things that we have that it's taken a while to bring back is the relationship between fire and police. We get along very well. The respect for each other, my guys, the police department and the fire office, firefighters and paramedics, they get along great. I get along very well with the fire chief. So it's one of those things where, we got to work with each other because of public safety. We might be in a situation where we're saving each other's lives out there. Yeah. And so in the past, it's always been police and fire. We make fun of each other. I mean, SOC, it's always, hey, at least I don't sleep with another guy. And it's like something where, all right, guys, come on, really? And, it's, I say, oh, yeah, you guys are eating donuts again. Or you guys going for a donut run. Yeah. These guys will sometimes put, it's little jokes here and there.
Yeah.
But it's all for the good. It's nothing personal. I have access to, they gave me access to go. I can go in there. Everybody can go in there, but I go and to the fire chief's office twice a week. He comes over here, sits. Man, I needed to get away. Sits here. I said, all right, I'll be doing my work over here, and doesn't say anything. And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, man, thanks. I feel better.
Yeah.
Same thing with me. I'll go over there for a little while. I was like, I tell my assistant, hey, I'll be right back with the fire department. And I'll go sit over there for about 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then, all right, man.
Yeah, and it's hard, to not be close when it's literally close.
It's a small town, and that's the way with everybody. I think the city as a whole has a lot of good people work for the city. A lot of good people work for the city. A lot of good people have worked for the city, retired too. But I think that as a city, people criticize us. Yeah, you don't want to pay more water. Yes, you don't want to do this. But people don't understand that the cost of doing business and running a city, it's expensive. So somebody's got to pay it. The government doesn't subsidize police, fire. The government doesn't subsidize a lot of stuff. The only thing they subsidize is water and sewer. That's the only thing. Everything else is revenue driven, or we find a way to make it work. And people don't understand that. They think that, oh, you work for the city, you have a lot of money. My officers took a 30% pay cut 2 years ago. That was a lot, man. They did it to save their jobs. Yeah. But I mean, 30%.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot.
And so it looks like we're doing better. We got a better finance director, and but there's still little things here and there that we got to work around it. But I have to be frugal with my budget. I have to be very careful. I mean, I would love to buy new cars. I would love to send everybody to training. I would love to hire more people. I would love to have the best equipment in the world. We have good equipment, but I mean the latest technology. Yeah. But I don't have the money. Yeah. So. That's one of my sergeants.
No worries. So yeah, we're at almost at an hour. Is there anything else that we didn't touch that you would like to?
You know what? One of the things is that I want to say is that I'm very proud to serve. I have accomplished a dream that I had when I first interviewed for police officer. at the time, he's a retired chief. Toribio Flores was a commander. And one of the last questions that he asked me when I was interviewing for police officers, he says, "Hey, so what is your goal?" And I looked at him and I said, "Well, to be chief of police." And he started laughing. He says, No. He goes, "What is your goal?" I said, "To be police officer." He just looks at, now, what is my short-term goal is to get hired and pass my academy and pass, my probation. But what is my ultimate goal? I said, to be chief of police. And he says, "Well, you got to learn how to walk before you learn how to run." So I saw his wife at a city council meeting, and I said, "Here, give my business card to Chief Toribio." I said, and I told her what he told me, and she started crying, gave me a hug, and she says, "I'll pass it on." He came looking for me, but I was gone at a training. So my message to the youth of Calexico is, if you have a dream, you can make it a reality. If you're a good person, do the right thing, no matter what. I've taken hits for saying things. I've taken hits for standing up for what I believe in. And I'll keep on getting hits. Out of this broadcast, dude, I am going to get slammed. But it's okay. I'm used to it. I'm a fighter. My upbringing, the way I was up with my parents, were do the right thing. I'm not perfect. I'm not an angel. But I try to do the right thing all the time. I have faults. I love to talk. I love to sing. I love to have a good time. To me, if I can make work fun for my people, for my officers, for our staff, and they want to come to work, that's a big one for me, because they call sick in less. When you don't like where you're working at, you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
These guys, I mean, if I could give each of these guys $1 million of my staff and everybody from dispatchers, records clerks, I give $1 million if I had it. They're worth more than that. But I as a bonus gift, I'd say, here you go, man. You guys are doing a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Because I don't see them complaining. Mm-hmm. At least not to me. It's not coming up to me.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not coming up to me. So
you probably heard by now.
Yeah, and I mean, I tell the guys that I'll be retiring in 3 years or less, and they're like, "Nope, can't go." I said, "Dude, the honeymoon's gonna be over pretty soon, and you guys are gonna want me out." It's been over a year now. It's a year. I'm at a year and 4 months since I took over, and the guys still treat me the same way they treated me when I took over. That's a relationship that I like having with them. Open door policy. Of course, we do chain of command, but if you have a problem that you need, like a personal problem, hey chief, I need some advice here. You're an old man. I'll sit there and say, yeah, listen to them and say. But like my message to youth is, your dreams will come true if you go for it. Nothing is unattainable. If you put your heart to it, you go to school, you're a good citizen, you're gonna get it. You're gonna have ups and downs. You have to go through life struggles, like I tell my kids, in order for you to be successful. Yeah. It can't be easy for you. The more you struggle, the better person you are. Yeah. And with that, Jose, I wrap it up. Or you got something else?
Yeah, I got something to say to you because, just when I started this, a lot of my guests, I go on Facebook and I look for people, but for you, like, I've known you for a long time. And when I see like bad comments about you, I'm like, Chalo doesn't do that, or Chalo wouldn't say that, because I've known you since I was a little kid. And, like you said, when you were on the beat at Las Bichoneras, we had this reputation as mischiefs or whatnot. But when you came here, like, you were always like, respectful to everybody, even though like they had like this bad rep, like you would come and like mess around with us and have fun. So like, to me, like, I was like, man, like, I don't know why, where these people get these stories about you. But I just wanted to say, like, even though I might get bad or backfire because I say, like, I know you're a nice guy. I had a lot of respect for you because of the things you do and the things that I've seen you done over the years. I don't know, I just want to say that, that I had a lot of respect for you, and I'm glad that you're now here as a police chief. This is the second time you're
Well, I'm officially the chief now. But I mean, in 2013, I was the interim chief, and they had offered me the position, and I was too young. I wasn't ready. Every position when I promoted that I've done, it's always been, if I'm ready, yeah. And I like the first time that they had the sergeant exam when I was, eligible to apply, I didn't do it because I knew I wasn't ready. I mean, I could have done the job, but I still had that patrolman, police officer, beat officer type of. Then I didn't want the responsibility as chief, as a sergeant. So now then when the lieutenant position came open, same too. It's like somebody promoted before me, but I wasn't ready. I just didn't feel it that it was my turn. This time around, when they asked me to be interim, and then I told the city manager, I actually told the city manager I wanted to retire, that I was looking at retiring pretty soon. I said, look, you know what? I already turned. I'm gonna be 50. I'm 51. I'll be turning 52 this year, so I think we can retire at 50. And right now, you get a good retirement as public safety. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna retire, and then I'll do something else. And he says, no, you know what? I said, why don't you stick around, and I'll offer you the chief's position. But this is when I was interim chief. Because I told him, I said, I'll be interim, but I'm gone. After being interim, I'm gonna take off. And he says, nah, why don't you see how you like it? So I was interim from March all the way to December. He calls me and he says, look, I'm giving you a contract now. It needs to be signed now. And I said, well, what's the council say? He goes, well, I already talked to the city council and they're all on board. I said, then, let me look at my contract. And I looked at it. I said, yeah, fine. I mean, signed it in front of the Mayor Pacheco. And then they ratified it. And, it was ratified 5-0. Calexico has a lot of good people. And like I said, the respect is respect that you have for me, I have for you. It's nothing but respect, and people people get upset, and like I said, slam me if you want. There's a lot of people I call keyboard warriors, because they'll say all kinds of stuff for me on Facebook. They'll go and make comments in other places, and I'm going but show me the proof. If I did this, show me a video of me doing this. Show me something of me doing this. I can go out there and make all these false allegations on people. I can tell you who I think is shady or not in Calexico, but is it right? No, because I have no substance. I have no evidence to prove it. I honestly think social media is probably going to be the demise of our civilization. We're going to be the Mayans because of social media, because people don't know how to communicate no more. Everybody's looking down at their phones when at the dinner table. People don't know how to talk. That's what I tell my kids is, you got to learn how to talk to people. And by you texting people, you're not learning how to talk to people. So you need to go out there and communicate people and know how to treat people right. Respect everybody. You talked about respect, and one of the things that I remember, there's been a couple of times when I was a patrol officer that I saw guys that had warrants coming out of church with their moms or their families, and they never arrested them. Then the next day I arrest them, and it says, hey, but I saw you yesterday and you didn't do anything. I said, dude, you think I'm going to go out there and embarrass your family, your mom, your church by arresting you? I said, I knew I was going to get you. I said, well, or if you want me next time, I'll arrest you in front of your mom in church. He goes, oh, no, okay, well, no, I appreciate that. I said, dude, look, it's not a homicide warrant. It wasn't a rape warrant. It was just you under the influence warrant, a drug warrant. And why was I going to embarrass you or your mom? I said, no. I said, it's not right, dude. I mean, I said, I get you. You can run, but you can't hide. I said, I'll get you. So that's the way, dude, I've always been this way. So if you've known me since I was a kid growing up at high school to now, the only thing that's changed is my weight, less hair, gray hair, and wrinkles and age spots. But the same. I mean, I don't think I've changed. I still feel 25.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if you've been doing this for so long now, not to age you, right? But you've been doing this for so long, and you're still here, and then you've gotten to where you are now. I mean, that should speak for itself. Like, you put in your work. I mean, like I from when I see you out in public, the people that approach you are always, happy to see you. They have a story to share with you or whatnot, and it's always positive stuff.
Yeah.
So
I want them to approach me because I get a lot of information from the people. If my officers are doing something or they think it's not right, I like it because they'll come and tell me, hey, one of your officers blew by my house the other day. Do you get our unit number? Yeah, it was unit such and such. What day was it? What time was it? Okay, so then I'll find out, oh yeah, they were going to a baby choking call. So then I go back to the person, hey, there was a kid choking on that call. Or what was he doing? I find out, we yank him in. I yank him. Lieutenant, I'll tell him, he'll yank him in and he'll give him an earful. And if I happen to be going by his office, it's guess what? There's no double jeopardy when you get you're getting an earful from your admin.
Yeah.
And so he'll get it from his sergeant, he'll get it from Serrano, Lieutenant Serrano, and then if I see him, he might get it from me too. Or I already know it's been taken care of. I just look at him, shake my head, and walk out, and they're looking at me like, come here. No. Hey, I don't want to hear it. They're like kids sometimes, like your kids. Oh, I want to tell you my side of the story.
Yeah.
No. I said, I'm done.
Go talk to your mom.
Yeah. Go. You ever talk to Sergeant, Lieutenant? I don't want to hear about it. Yeah. You don't want to hear it from me.
Yeah.
I tell them you want to hear it from me. So, but I got some good people working, dude. I mean, if you want to go on a ride along, you're more than welcome, dude. You'll see that these guys do stay busy, and there's a lot of stuff to do in Calexico.
No, and something that I wanted to mention too before we leave, for people to follow the CPOA. CPOA,
the Calexico Police Officer Association Facebook page. I think they have a Twitter account too.
I think I see them more on Instagram.
There you go. Instagram.
That's where I see most of the things that they post, and I mean, you see it. I'm like, what? You don't even.
Calexico has this.
Yeah, you don't even imagine. Like the Molotov guy. Like that was crazy.
I mean, to me, that's a first in a long time that I've seen something to that extreme.
Uh-huh.
Because guys will, like I said, I'll wake up in the morning. First thing I do is pop over my computer, and I have my shift report that's for me from my sergeant from that night. So he does his shift report at 6. I take a shower. I think I'm on a shower on 6:30. Open up my computer. I'm looking at it. That way I already know that what I'm coming into because I know I'm gonna get phone calls if it's something serious. So when I heard that one, I was like, whoa. I picked up the phone and said, hey, good job, but really?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was scary.
Okay, good, man. Yeah, but you know what? What do you think of their hashtags? I love watching their hashtags.
Yeah, those are funny.
I went when I went to my executive course for chiefs, nothing but chiefs of police go. My class, there's 30 of us that went to that class, executive development course. Will email me or text me saying, "You're," because I wake up and look at Instagram or Facebook just to see the hashtags on your guys.
Hashtag not on my watch.
Not on my watch. Hashtag, it's like pants were burning, burning pants. It's I tell like, man, where do you guys come up with your stuff? And it's like I know who's doing it, and so I just like, hey, just don't get out of no. I goes, I saw fun stuff. I said, all right, cool.
Yeah,
I said,
they're funny. They're really funny. Yeah. So I encourage people to follow it because you learn a lot. Informed. Yeah, you learn a lot, and it's kind of like a way to be transparent as to what they're doing. They're to see that they're really busy. They're not out there, screwing around. They're really busy.
Yeah, so it's no longer donuts. So guys don't eat donuts now. It's all their energy drinks. I tell them, man, you guys got to. I don't want you guys to get too, but
those are bad.
They don't drink coffee, so very, very rarely they drink coffee.
Yeah.
So. All right,
Chalo. Thank you for the time.
Take care, man. Awesome.
You too, and whenever you want to come back and
well, hopefully we come back when we start doing our programs with the kids.
Yeah, for sure. I'll help you promote and can you use this media as a way to promote the events and stuff.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Chalo. All right, guys. See you guys in the next one. Peace.